Contemporary Hebrew literature continuously explores questions of memory, history, identity, and long-term survival. Two peer presentations, Children of the Holocaust, Israeli Voices, and Animal Symbolism in Israeli Literature, tackle these motifs from very different yet equally compelling angles. Patel's talk is centered on literature that reflects the raw, honest voices of child survivors of the Holocaust and how these stories serve as witness to history and children's voices humanizing history. Laura and Amin, however, examine how fish creatures are used by Israeli poets and writers metaphorically and obliquely in the expression of emotional complexity of cultural identity and historical trauma. If one set of presentations compromises a literal personal witness to trauma and survival, while the other deploys symbolic representations of emotional reality, both exemplify Israeli literature as a way of conducting through collective memory and trauma, one through flat narrative and the other through layered metaphor. The present essay compares these approaches and shows their implication in the larger enterprise of modern Hebrew literature, as a witness and as a healer. Both presentations concern the way Israeli literature sits with trauma, in particular, trauma incurred by war, dislocation, and historical persecution. Patel's paper focuses on the voices of child Holocaust survivors in the writings of Yuri Orlev, Nava Semel, Aharon. Works such as Orlev's Run, Boy, Run, and Semel's Hat of Glass stress on children's innocence and vulnerability, the need to protect and retain those voices. Laura and Amin's presentation takes a more abstract route to similar emotional terrain. Rather than reporting on events that actually happened, writers like Yehuda Amichai and Dahlia Ravikovic depict through animal metaphor an emotional response to love, loss, trauma, and survival. In Amichai's A Dog After Love, the dog serves as a tribute to fidelity, yearning, and passion. In Ravi Kovic's Horse, the horse is a symbol of power and mute suffering, especially in a female point of view. Here, trauma is suggested not via plot, but through poetic emotion and metaphor. Both presentations also address the question of survival, where Holocaust literature depicts survival literally, staying alive, securing shelter, enduring hunger. The animal metaphor presents survival in the affective or psychological realm. In David Grossman's Sea Under Love, a Holocaust survival metamorphoses into a salmon and swims upstream as if in protest and memory. In the film Beaufort, likewise, soldiers are depicted as prey, representing the dehumanizing impact of war. If Patel's book is historical and testimonial, Laura and Amin's is literary and analytic. Patel's sources are those of memory, testimony, and biography. For their part, Laura and Amin deploy symbolic reading and poetic metaphor. Collectively, they reveal the wide ranging arsenal of strategies available to modern Hebrew literature as it grapples with the identical collective trauma. 3 questions for children of the Holocaust, Israeli Voices. 1. How do stories of children affect our understanding of the Holocaust? They emphasize innocence and resiliency, often zooming in on emotional truths that adult testimonies might miss. Number 2. Why does it matter for Israeli writers to record these stories? These narratives keep the memory of the Holocaust visceral and emotional for future generations. 3. How does literature complement the gap of history or official records? Literature can capture lived experience that data or archives may not be able to. Through imagination and emotional truth, imaginary and of the past, it can recover traces that might be hidden within contem- um, contemporary texts. Three questions for animal symbolism in Israeli literature. Why is the symbolism of the animal so strong in Israeli literature? It both is inspired by the natural landscape and is claustrophobic with the emotional scarring of war, displacement, and biblical tradition. Number two, how does Yehuda Amichai employ animals to address his personal grief? In A Dog After Love, the dog becomes a symbol of loyalty as well as of loss, a reflection of the poem's capacity for profound emotional longing. Number three, how does the horse symbolize in Rav- Ravi Kovich's poem? It represents strength, stamina, and pain endured in secret, especially with regard to female self-identity. Four additional research questions and answers. Number one, in what other ways does modern Israeli literature contribute to memory of the Holocaust today? Writers like Grossman and Semmel persist in endorsing new readings of the Holocaust through second-generation stories and portals of magical realism with stories about parents' trauma is handed down and mutated. Number two, what about the symbolism of animals that does appear in Holocaust literature? In the graphic novel Maus, Jews are depicted as mice and Nazis as cats, using animal imaginary to illustrate the power dynamics in trauma. How do contemporary Israeli writers reconcile personal trauma and national identity? Many Israeli writers employ private tales as allegories for national trauma, spinning personal memory into a double helix with shared history. How is children's literature used in Holocaust education in Israel? It's a bridge between chronicle understanding and empathy development, and helps young readers understand, empathize with, and break down the past in age-appropriate ways. Creative dialogue. Patel, I enjoyed your book on animal symbolism. It's amazing. The emotional meaning that animals can carry through so many different themes. Laura, thank you. Your talk really stuck with me. The rawness of children's voices, and especially in Holocaust literature, has a way of cutting through scholarly detachment. Patel, I agree. In a sense, the honesty of the children is its own sort of metaphor. They speak truths that can be difficult for adults to utter. But your animal, dog, horses, even symbolic salmon feels different. Laura, exactly. Animals allow writers to articulate the unsayable. A wounded dog or a quiet horse can be a substitute for human suffering without getting anywhere too close to it. It's protective almost. Patel. So there's a parallel then. Children's literature is also a defense through a glass that makes trauma inviting if it's not threatening for the reader who might be overwhelmed. Laura. So perhaps both want to preserve memory gently, one through innocence, the other through indirection. Patel. Yes. And both invite the reader's own emotions to rush into the gaps. Laura. That's what good literature does. Patel. Agreed. Our topics may be dissimilar in style, but we're all searching for that same truth, how to remember and how to heal. Each of children of the Holocaust, Israeli voices, and animal symbolism in Israeli literature provides valuable perspectives into how Israeli writers deploy the power of literature in order to work through express the process traumatization, whether through the mediated words of children, or the animal, morphology or allegory. They are acts of remembering, teaching, and emotional preservation. By contrasting literal figurative expression in storytelling, this essay reveals that modern Hebrew literature, in its mediation between past and present, fact and emotion, continues to strive to record what it means to be human.